I'm sure they're way in excess of anything that's being reported here. Don't you agree, Jason? Northern Virginia, WMAL, a Democrat. Don't you agree? Trump goes overpaid.
$254,000 is so much money, right? You seem to think...
I think... Quiet down. Hold on now. I think for this load, yeah, it's probably way too much.
I'm sorry?
I think for this load, L-O-A-D, yes, I think so. And I'll tell you something else, Jason. If you're going to be saying that you represent the average guy and that CEOs make too much money, why shouldn't you take a $34,000 a year salary? Why shouldn't you live the way you claim the people you represent live?
Yourself falls down.
Hey, pal, pay attention to me. I'm going to try one more time. If you believe in this type of a system, why not live it?
So, again, let me explain to you before you cut me off. That this
cut you off?
The lack of critical
cut yourself
thinking.
Off. You're a moron.
So you cut me off. You cut me off.
You're a moron.
First of all, let me congratulate you.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to give you one more chance.
Congratulate you. It's your book signing in Tyson's Corner.
Yeah, what about
I was there.
Yeah.
And you had a huge line of people waiting
so what about
for you to sign your book. It was nothing but white.
Did I say... All right. Let him go. Gosh. Nothing but whites? I don't even know what the color of everybody was, but I can tell you there was more than just whites. And you know how? Because there's video of it. Video of it. Let's keep that liberal line open. By the way, I look at the U.S. Senate. I look at the Democrats in the U.S. Senate. I don't have them all memorized in my mind. But since the Democrats get like 95% of the black vote in this country, are there any black Democrat senators right now, Mr. Producer? Can you think of any? Am I overlooking one or two? I'm just curious. We had more minorities at my book signing than they have in the Democrat caucus in the U.S. Senate. By far. Amazing. In furtherance of the liberal caller, I now have photographs of every member of the United States Senate. And I'm sad to say that despite getting 95% of the vote from black Americans, there's not a black person among the Senate Democrats. Or the Republicans, for that matter. But you'd think 95% of the vote? Let's go down the list, shall we? Daniel Inouye, non-black. Mark Begich of Alaska, white. Matter of fact, very white. Mark Pryor, white. Dianne Feinstein, white. Barbara Boxer, white. And a midget. Mark Udall, white. Michael Bennett, white. Joe Lieberman, white. Richard Blumenthal, white. Tom Carper, white. Chris Coons, white. Bill Nelson, white. Daniel Akaka, non-black. Little Dick Durbin, white. Tom Harkin, white. Mary Landfill, a.k.a. Landrew, white. Barbara Mikulski, white. Ben Cardin, white. John Kerry, white. Carl Levin, white. Debbie Stabenow, white. Amy Klobuchar, if that is her name, white. Al Franken, ugly white, but white. Claire McCaskill, white. Max Baucus, white. John Tester, white. Ben Nelson, white. Harry Reid, white. Gene Shaheen, white. Frank Lautenberg, white. Bob Menendez, not black. Jeff Bingaman, white. Tom Udall, white. Chuck Schumer, white. Kirsten Gillibrand, white. Kay Hagan, white. Kent Conrad, white. Sherrod Brown, white. Ron Wyden, that's one goofy-looking dude, white. Jeff, who the hell is this? Jeff Merkley, is he a senator? White. Bob Casey Jr., white and in the witness protection program. Jack Reed, white. Sheldon Whitestone, white. Tim Johnson, white. Patrick Leahy, white. Bernie Sanders, white. Jim Webb, white. Mark Warner, white. Patty Murray, white. Maria Cantwell, white. Jay Rockefeller, white. Joe Manchin, white. Herb Kohl, white. Mr. Producer, there's not a black person among the Senate Democrats. They get 95% of the vote. Let me repeat. There are far, far more minorities at my book signings than are in the Democrat caucus in the United States Senate. Blindingly white. Now that the lib caller brought this up, I just keep thinking about the color of people. I really don't think about that normally. So let's look at the network news anchors, shall we? Brian Williams, white. Scott Pelley, white. Diane Sawyer, white. So much of liberaldom is white. What else should we look at? George Soros, white. The people who own the New York Slimes, white. The people who own the Washington Compost, white. All of liberaldom, except Obama himself. So, but look how disgusting even a liberal caller can be. Race. They got it down. Race. Bring up race. They don't talk about Americans. Look at the other liberal caller. Executives getting 300%. This balkanization based on race, based on income, based on gender is very serious. And it has receptive minds among the stupid. And like it or not, there's a lot of stupid people out there. We call most of them liberals, but there's a lot of stupid people out there. And they get the vote. Can't stop them. They get the vote.